Urban finger in a college student's bunker. Myers. Ladies and gentlemen, an amazing Big Ten clash-up of an undefeated Pennsylvania State versus Ohio State. The Ohio State University is here with big implications for the Big Ten and the rest of the college football landscape. You got the $20 million roster versus the Nittany Lions, and what's going to happen is probably something pretty fantastic. So in this video, we're going to look at the brief, short history, I guess recent history of this clash-up. They've had some pretty good games, some pretty good situations. We're gonna look at each of these individual teams, like how they rank up stat wise, see what kind of teams they got. I gotta be honest with ya, besides watching Jeremiah Smith highlights because he was made in the lab on a cyborg in another year, in another dimension. I've been watching a lot of Penn State football. I know we have some Drew Aller situations and things like that. He's confirmed to start, so we're gonna get into that, see who's good, who's not good, what the path to victory is, and we're gonna get into some predictions. Man, you get down below in the comments, let me know who's winning this game. Are you a Penn State guy? Are you an Ohio State guy? Man, I appreciate y'all watching these videos so much. Please leave a like on this video if you like it, dislike if you don't like anything I said, and subscribe if you enjoy college football content. Let's look at the history. So last matchup, Ohio State gets the job done against Penn State. Look, Penn State is a blue blood, quote unquote. They got a lot of history and haven't really done a lot of big things in recent recent history. So Ohio State here, I couldn't find the Penn State version of it, but here Ohio State is 23-8 from October 30th, 1993 to October 21st, 2023. I know they can go back a little further, can't it? I'm sure it can, but just for the most recent history, seems that Ohio State, which has had some wagons of some teams, has been handling business. 14-2 at home, 9-6 away. Is this away or home? Hold up. Is this away or home? Was this away or home? Hold up. We're about to pull it up. I'll pull that up right when we get into it. I hit the tickets. Don't hit the tickets, man. Don't hit the tickets, man. Come on, dog. Where is it at, dog? We're trying to figure it out. Okay, so no one knows where it's at. It's at Beaver Stadium. That's what it's called. It's called Beaver Stadium. Anyway, it's at Penn State. And the people, the numbers, I've never seen a blanket with a part-time job. They've got Ohio State giving 4 points, so they're going to win by right underneath the touchdown, 60% to 39%. Look at these leaders here. Willie Howard spinning the ball 17 for 4. That is a really good interception. Well, not really good. It's a decent interception to touchdown ratio. He takes care of the ball decently. Mr. Aller also doesn't put the ball into the ops' hands too much. Quinshon Judkins, who is seemingly underperforming, but 520 yards and 6 touchdowns in a backfield, which by all terms can be called loaded, is pretty good. And obviously Allen, that dude's a dog. Only 4 touchdowns, 509 carries, so he's getting it done. Jeremiah Smith again mutant, and then Mr. Warren getting the job done for the Nittany Lions. Let's get a little deeper in here. I want to get deep out top of it, and first thing I want to talk about really is these Big Ten standings, right? Because these Big Ten standings is the reason why we're even reviewing this this game, because there's a lot of implications. Now, if Penn State takes care of business, they beat Ohio State, we're having a different conversation, because I don't think Penn State and Oregon play each other. I don't think these top 3 play each other at all. Let's double check. So yep, he does not play anybody here. And then we go look back. I'm going to go through each team. Why not? And then Indiana, the Hoosiers. Does the Hoosiers play Oregon? Because that's really all I'm looking at. Nope, but they do play Ohio State. So if Penn State wins, and obviously, best teams are best teams, and nothing gets nutty here, and those guys take care of business, because the Hoosiers don't have anybody huge except for except Ohio State. So that could make things pretty interesting. So let's say the Hoosiers take care of business, okay? Let's say the Nittany Lions go 5-0 in conference. Sorry, not 5-0 in conference. Yeah, 5-0 in conference. 6-0, 5-0 in conference. And they catapult themselves to this 3-way tie here. Well, third, because obviously they would be 1 behind, okay? The Indiana Hoosiers are going to have to beat Ohio State, okay? So this is how Penn State can solidify their place into the Big Ten championship. They come in, they beat Ohio State. Well, Ohio State at 3-2 in the conference, their only chance is to go ahead and beat this, supposedly, would that be 7-0, 6-0 in conference, maybe? You're going to handle Michigan State. Michigan's going to be a team now. You would hope to be 7-0 for Ohio State's sake, for y'all college football playoff stakes, that they are undefeated in conference play, and then you beat them, making them a one-loss team, and then if Penn State handles business, which it seems like after this, Washington can scare you now. Washington play football, but other than that, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland, you should be able, as a top-ranked team, you should be able to handle business there. You come in unranked. That serves you up on a platter to play the Oregon Ducks in the Big Ten Championship. But if not, and Ohio State wins, and they take you to a one-loss, basically y'all completely take each other out of the playoffs. Even though Ohio State's going to have the chance to possibly sneak in the second place if they beat Indiana. A lot of funness, man. A lot of craziness. I came into this season knowing that I think a lot of these a lot of these conferences were going to be a little more open than people kind of gave credit for. Not this crazy and not this open, because it seems like, I mean, there's 4 or 5 teams that can get something done in the Big Ten right now. In the Big Ten right now. I guess 4. It's really 4. But I mean, worst case scenario, you know what I'm saying? Something crazy happens. And I wouldn't think Indiana, of all teams, would be one of those teams. Phenomenal year of college football so far. Let's get into these rankings here, the individual stat rankings. And then after that, I'm going to get a prediction, and then we're going to hop on Twitter, look at a few things. So, points a game for the Buckeyes. They are number 6 in the nation. They are number 7 in yards a game, number 3 in points of play, number 4 in yards of play. Third down conversion, they are a top 30 offense when it comes to getting on third down. They are number 1 at 100% when it comes to red zone efficiency. Very important to be able to get into the red area and actually score. You know me, if you're on this channel, I look at 2 important stats from the offense and defensive side, and that is red zone scoring, and that is third down conversions. I think those are some of the biggest parts of the game. Obviously, red zone doesn't have to be explained, but when you talk about third downs, being able to break the will or give your offense an injection on third down, converting those, and really breaking the will of the defense, rather, if you're on offense converting those, I mean, it's invaluable into what can happen and what you can add to your team and your momentum there. And on the defensive side, points a game, number 2 when it comes to yards a game, number 4 when it comes to points of play, number 4 when it comes to opponents' yards of play, number 19 when it comes to third down conversions, third down and fourth down, and when it comes to red zone scoring. So that is a very, very stingy defense when we get to the red area, and also a few different areas there. You know, I want to talk about Ohio State because they are a team that I think is going to be a really judged by that Oregon loss, but I think as good as Oregon looks and continue to look, I think that judgment is going to be looked at a little differently, right? It was a close win where things kind of, it was, you know, they only won by 3 or a point or something like that, and you had that one last second thing. If Oregon continues to dominate and play the way that they play, and then, you know, let's say Ohio State wins out, we could be looking at an Ohio State team that just has the respect. They could be like the Big Ten's version of Georgia, where, hey, this is a team who lost to a great team, supposedly, lost to a great team, but other than that, they've checked every single box, and they can do that against this Penn State team, and then again against these Hoosiers. They have to be very, very lucky, because I think looking at that schedule, nobody would have told you that Indiana would have been a team that they can basically, or a win that they can put into their, or notch, or put it, feather cap, something, I don't know, put it up on a shelf or something, son. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a win that's important to them. No one thought the Hoosiers, okay, were going to be a deciding game, all right, for these Ohio State Buckeyes, and now they can use it to their advantage, because if they win against Penn State, and then you win against a ranked, undefeated in-conference Indiana, I mean, when it comes to the playoffs, you're basically sure in at one loss, and then when it comes to the Big Ten Championship, it's going to be a little more stickier for Ohio State to get in there, but to be honest with you, the way that Ohio State's looking, they probably don't want to be in the Big Ten Championship and risk you know, being a 3 or 2 or 3 loss team trying to get a bid into the college football playoff. It's a lot of craziness, man. We just have to keep all this in mind, because we're talking about Big Ten championships, and then we're also talking about the playoffs at 12 teams, and the championships decide that, and then if the highest ranked, and then it's a lot, and some people don't need to play. It's super complicated, but I kind of like it. I think it's cool that we have to like figure out this puzzle to see who the fuck is gonna make it in here. Penn State. On the offensive side, no slouches at all. Obviously, they have been marred by the what's it called? The having a terrible schedule bug. At least everyone looks at it pretty terrible. I want to say a little. What? I want to say Illinois is actually a really good team. So that's a good win to have on your cap. USC, a decent team. I mean, they look like dog crap. They've been losing a lot. They losing a lot of games more than they've been looking bad. They've been losing and having down to the wire. So theoretically, USC should be another feather in your cap, but it's not. And Wisconsin again, they just aren't there where they need to be there. So for Penn State, and this is what I predict. I told y'all this at the beginning of the season, and here we are again. I was gonna tell y'all, hey, they're gonna end up ranked top 10, top 15. Now they're at number 3, but let me finish. And they're gonna end up obviously not having a lot of big games, right? One big game where even if they lose, they're probably going to win the rest of these games. And now you have a one loss, theoretically, ranked 10 Penn State, that how are you not going to allow into the college football playoffs? So they don't really have to do a lot to get there. But if they win this Ohio State game, ranked number 3, beating number 4, and then basically catapulting themselves into the Big Ten championship conversation, it's a lot that can happen here. And I only say that to say it's easy just to say, hey, you have a bad schedule, but it's also hard to execute on that quote unquote bad schedule because a lot of teams have bad schedules and they find a way to make a dumb loss. The fact that we're here in November and the dumb loss or the loss that they're looking at is a almost undefeated top-ranked Ohio State team, I think they're in a good, decent situation here. So shout out to the Nittany Lions. Obviously, number 26 in points a game, number 11 in yards a game, number 20. Oh, I was saying that to say that even with that being said, because people are going to add that to the grain of salt when I go over these stats, they haven't played anybody. I do think they're just like the Miami conversation, right? They're undefeated, but they, the refs and this and that. As much hate as I give Miami, or supposedly y'all say I give Miami, winning the games, having a win, like we could talk about all this, it doesn't fucking matter because they won the game. So like at the end of the day, it's an undefeated team. Same thing with Penn State. Oh, the schedule's bad. I mean, it's college football. You know what I'm saying? So they are undefeated, and if they can do this, it's only going to catapult them because of positioning, right? It's all about. Is similar to the real game of college football. That's a lot about space and matchups and timing, right? That's also what college football, when it comes to getting into certain bowl games and situations in the playoffs, is how hot are you in the right times? Are you going to run into certain games when they're in a bandwagon, or not a bandwagon, when they're a wagon or they're not? And Penn State seems to be answering most of the calls. We'll see how much they can answer it this Saturday. So on the defensive side, pretty stout. I mean, notoriously, Penn State's always really stout on defense. Number 7 when it comes to opponents' points a game. Opponents' yards a game, number 4. You got opponents' points per play at number 7. And then number 8 when it comes to opponents' yards of play. That third down conversion there is a top 20. So these are both two teams who are top 5 in third down conversions, by the way. These are both two elite third down teams on both sides of the ball. A top 30, I would consider elite. You're top 30 out of 130. I would consider that elite. And Penn State seems to really get the job done when it comes to that money down. So that's good to see. Red zone scoring from the defense, 22, number 18 for red zone. So, this is a well-rounded offensive and defensive plays, especially when it comes to the important and spots and places. This is, in fact, a rushing offense. So, 27, 22, 30, and 22 at play percentage, yard rush a game, and rush yards a game, respectively. And then on the defensive side, defending the run, they are top 11 in rushes a game, number 6 and then yards a game for the opponent, number 13 when it comes to opponent yards a rush. Going to the passing statistics, they obviously don't call as much run as they do pass, but they are efficient and effective because yards to pass at number 4, completion percentage at number 3 in the nation. It's pretty good there. Passes a game, though, obviously they don't throw it as much. And then number 30 still when it comes to pass yards a game, which is pretty impressive to see when you're the bottom to mid at how many times you throw the ball. Interception throwing percentage at number 69, quarterback sack percentage at number 26%. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it seems they have some shortcomings when it comes to the pass game. So Jeremiah Smith's going to have to get it cooking if Ohio State wants to make a big splash. Rounding out Ohio State statistics, a decent, elite balanced offense, but a very effective rush yard play. Very effective and efficient rushing when it comes to the ball. Rushes a game, again, 85. Rush yards a game, top 30. I would consider elite. Defending it seems to be not their weak spot. They're top 10 when it comes to opponents' yards or rush, as well as being number 4 in rush yards a game at 92 of them things. Passing, they could throw it around a little bit. They're very efficient and effective at number 4 and number 6 when it comes to completion percentage and yards of pass, but they don't throw it as as much, clearly, but they do a decent job. Top 20 in pass pass protection, and then obviously interception stone number 36, taking care of the ball at a decent rate there. Willie Howard on the defensive side of the ball seems like they can get after the quarterback. Top 11 when it comes to quarterback sack, number 8 in opponents' pass yards a game, number 23 when it comes to opponents' pass yards a game. Number 23 when it comes to I already said that. But good rankings. I might need to refresh how to read because I kind of re-stumbled over a few words. But other than that, man, apparently Drew Aller was cussing somebody out on the sideline. Oh, that boy was about to drop a hand. He was leaving for injury, and he was doing that. That's crazy. So the guy's got moxie. The guy's got spunk. How much moxie, how much spunk will it take to take them over the edge? I have no idea. Penn State quarterback Drew Aller is expected to play this Saturday against Ohio State. He was injured in last week's game against Wisconsin, but had participated in practice. And Urban Meyer. Urban finger in a college student's bunko. Meyer had to say that Penn State's game is Super Bowl for Ohio State. And like we talked about, I don't think that's a bad, consideration. Because Michigan, they're going to steamroll Michigan. I got to be honest with you. If they lose to Michigan, it doesn't really, we're not having any conversations. You lose to Michigan, wrap your season up. But yeah, Penn State being number 3, this can be, I talked about the implications for Penn State, I think a little more than I did with Ohio State. I know I was talked about them for the Big Ten implications, but when you talk about college football playoff implications, you beat the number 3 team ranked in the nation. You're sitting pretty in interconference play. Like this is huge because the next they do have Indiana though, dog. We just talked about them playing Indiana. They got some hills to climb, and I think Indiana looking good is only going to look good for them. But what was Urban finger whatever to say? I don't know if this is insane. You got 2 crazy games, and then you got a rivalry game. There it is, looking at the history there, more implicated there. Phenomenal time, great time. I think this is all we have for shenanigans on Twitter. This is going to be a great game, man. I got Ohio State. I think that just got too much firepower. Give it to me 21-7. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. But I think Ohio State's going to pull away in the 4th. They're going to handle their business, and it's going to be is what it is. Y'all give me in the comments down below who y'all predicting. Don't be afraid to come back here and tell me if I'm wrong, like y'all love to do in my videos. Hey, man, just boost the engagement. But y'all be phenomenal. Leave a like in this video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe. Hit the bell icon. Do all that fun stuff if you enjoy college football content. And